Hi, I'm Gerard Duré, and I am hair and makeup to the stars. They've called me the king of hair. They've called me the guru of beauty. You can call me what you want as long as you don't call me collect. I've done a lot of people in my life, and my resume is really hard to put together because now, in this age, it's all digital. So I've done people like Queen Latifah, Tony Braxton, opera singer Denise Graves, rock and rollers NXS. I mean, it goes from rock to gospel, Karen Clark, to you name it. At some point, my hands have been on it. And that's why they've called me the king of hair, the beauty guru, you name it. And I am Gerard Duré, the celebrity to the celebrity. You know, a lot of people have asked me how I got started, and I got started because I'm a singer. And I got started at the Apollo Theater singing and winning, singing gospel songs. And hair was always in my grasp. As a musical theater major in music and art in New York, and as a child actor and dancer on off-Broadway musicals in the First All Children's Theater with people like Ben Stiller, Nicole Sullivan, a lot of people who you see now that are in television. And so the experience goes from childhood. So we always learned at that age about applying your own makeup, applying hair. So I knew how to do it, but I wasn't serious about doing other people's hair. Well, I got an opportunity to work for Eartha Kitt one time. She saw me at the Apollo and she thought I was so gorgeous or whatever. And she wanted me in her show. I was underage, but you know, back then I just took some mascara and painted on a mustache, just tried to pass as being a little older. And from that point on, she took to me, and I was not only in her show, but someone that I knew was doing her hair and makeup. He decided with the big idea, I'm doing all the stars. You should come around me and have your demo tape. Somebody will discover you. It went from that to becoming his assistant, doing hair and makeup on movies like School Days when I was 16 years old. I was an assistant on those kind of movies, and Tougher Than Leather with LL Cool J and all those different people. And so from that point, I actually was doing hair and makeup, and even on Broadway. My life changed because suddenly I went from being a teenager to being on tour, to being in command of things and being wanted by more than one celebrity, and being able to say the prices that people would say, are you kidding? That no one would ever believe that I could make. Making the kind of money that people wouldn't believe. You know, I was able to open up all my businesses with my own money. I never had loans or any of those kind of things. So of course, on the financial side of it, it changed life drastically. I mean, tremendously. And then there's the ups and downs. You have to be smart with your money. And when you're very young, you think it's always going to be that way. So for you youngins and you millennials, save your money and be frugal. There's a reason why there are people who are frugal, why you can go to your grandmama and she always got some money, because she saves. She saves. And here you are making a gazillion dollars and you don't have any saved. So save your money. But my life changed. The experiences to have gone all over the world. I've been everywhere. There really isn't a particular, I would say, favorite one in a sense. But if I had to pick one as far as one that's bold, with style, I would say, well, I mean, I've done a lot of looks with Tony Braxton, as you know. But these things are very orchestrated. But somebody that'll just snatch her hair up and go, that's difficult. I don't really have one. I think they're all sort of placed. There's no one that I could say that just goes, I don't care, just throw something on that you would know of. Now, there are artists I do work with that are like that, but they're not, I don't think they're ones that you know of. I must say, I've had a lot of great times and situations. It's hard to tell you what my greatest meal was. And it's hard to say what my greatest moment was because it's just too many. It's too many moments that I would say I would classify as that one. But I will tell you when I had a really happy feeling on one artist. It was by accident. I was doing NDIRE, and as you know, Stevie Wonder is her godfather. And we were doing the Smokey Robinson Walk of Fame in Washington for BET. And I had her finish. She was about to go on shortly. So she was resting, and we were doing some adjustments. Her mother was doing adjustments with her clothes, and somebody came in and said, "We need somebody to do makeup for Stevie Wonder," you know. And they were like, "Can you do it?" And I looked at her, and she said to me, she said, "Yeah, you know, he's my godfather." And for some reason, I got excited, not just because he's one of my favorite singers, and it wasn't even being starstruck. It was just like, God, I've done everybody. I just wouldn't think that I would have added Stevie Wonder. That's another icon to the list. And I really was happy about doing him. And I did it just on pro bono. I didn't charge for it because it was in the middle of a show. He was so grateful that he took everybody out afterwards. They opened up a restaurant in a hotel that was already closed, and it was just us, private. And he really showed his appreciation. When you come up with something or a style, for example, I used to do in Vogue, when you come up with an idea for something and everything rests on your shoulders on what the look is, and you don't get it right, that could be devastating for your career. So I must say that what I've done, some of my biggest risks have been coming up with the concept for a look and then presenting it right there, and we're on set already, where the record company hasn't seen what they're going to look like, and we're right there. Fortunately, I have not had any bad experiences with that, and I'm very fortunate with that. Or being overseas, like when I was overseas with Tyra, I was just working with her. I only worked with her a couple times, but now we're in Ireland, and you want to make sure you have everything. I used to bring everything with me like a walking salon, so my risks were really making sure that I had everything, and if I didn't show the record company, that I crossed the T's and dotted the I's. They asked me, well, how do I get started? And I'm like, get started how? And which way? They all seem to see what I've done in the glitz and the glamour, which I didn't even want, believe it or not. That wasn't my interest. I'm trying to be a singer. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this is nice, but I'm ready to get on something else. That's what God, that was part of my blessing. That was for that portion of my life. I tell people, don't go into it just to be a celebrity hair and makeup artist. What does that do? What is that? Go into being a hairstylist to be good and being the best at it. Not better than anybody else, because nobody can ever be better than somebody else, because somebody else can always do another part of hair better than you. Hair is constantly changing, constantly growing. Just be the very best that you can be, and when you do people's hair, put your very best foot forward. That will take you further, because word of mouth will take you further than any of your advertisements and all those kind of things. Good work will last. There are people that will come back 20 years later and go, yes, you did such a good job that time, and I'm back from Alaska now. I mean, oh, I want to come and I want to see you. They will always come back home, to you if you do good work. Your work will get observed, and if you are trying to be a celebrity hair and makeup artist, go into those circles, be hungry, but do not step on toes, because karma has everybody's address, so stay on the right side of karma. If you are a person of a certain age, or even if you're not a person of a certain age, and I don't claim any age, it stops at 28 or 29, and that's my final answer. I plead the fifth. Of course, my son is 28, and I've stopped my clock at 28, so obviously something doesn't matter. So something doesn't match. But no, I say rest, lots of water, which I get none of. I get no rest, I get no water. It's just a blessing, and that good black it don't crack stuff, because I should look like older than Methuselah. And moisturizing, making sure that you take care of your skin. I say there's 3 keys that you can use for your success. And for believers, one of them is have faith in God. And what I mean by that is because we're all the mirror image, we're made in the image, it's all supposed to be one and one within. Faith and optimism go together. Enthusiasm, that's all one thing. And enthusiasm comes from the Greek word entheos, which means God within. So if enthusiasm, which is what you need for what you do, is part of it, you have to wake up with that God sense. So when I say have faith in God, that's not just God, but it's also yourself. Be enthusiastic. Fulfill the God within when it comes down to your craft and what you're looking at. So that means you have no worries, right? Okay. Number 2, okay, by confirming what number 1 is, and that means keeping faith, you must work. 10 years, I'll be 29 still. No, in 10 years, I will have hoped to relaunched some of my hair products to really go in to do whatever God has me to do. Right now, the other chapters have been turned, and this book is not finished. And since both sides of my family live to be old, like 100, I have a whole bunch of years ahead of me, so I want to live an enriched life. My whole life is not beauty, but it will always be a part of it. There's a whole lot of other things that I do. So right now, I'm letting God turn that chapter. I can't speak on that, because what I might think and what He has in store is something totally different. So in 10 years, as long as I'm alive and healthy, I hope I'm doing God's will.